Hello, and welcome to our podcast about the Star Citizen universe. I'm Logic, and this is Obsessite.
Hello again.
We'll be talking about all the stuff that's happened this week and some interesting topics that we think are important. And there's not a whole lot to talk about this week, mainly due to lack of content from CIG due to the holidays. But we'll try and do something fun, talk about some interesting stuff. There are some things we could talk about, but I guess we'll start off with Star Marine, which I've been playing a little bit, and you've been playing a little bit since last podcast. Any thoughts first, off the top of your head?
It's hard to add anything from what we said last week. To be fair,
people don't always watch every episode.
Okay. I'll repeat. To be fair, I had to go. Last night, and whilst there's this shed load of potential there, it's still quite painful for me personally to play. I'd say I've got pretty much average specs, I suppose, but it's just too laggy. It's the netcode issue which everybody's reporting. It will be fixed soon, I'm sure, and it'll be so much better because, as I said a couple of weeks ago, when I first played Star Marine, I got that old school vibe that I used to get from old shooters like Quake 2, things like that. It was fun to get in there and just play, but at the moment it's just not fun to play at the moment for me anyway. But I know it's going to be great once they sort the netcode out.
Well, as you can see below, there's this video going around of the sort of the network setup and latency of Star Marine, and how bad it's not that great right now. For even with like pings of 25 seconds, the latency which you can see up in the movement jump and the movement walk section for Star Marine is significant, like 400. When you do when you're moving and when you're walking, the latency is considerably more if you're just standing there firing. So they definitely have a lot of work to do on their sort of on their sort of network end. It's just, even in Star Marine, which you would think Crisis first-person shooter network code should be fairly good, but it's definitely needs a lot of work. You should check it out. It's a very interesting read about how bad the network stuff is right now.
Looking at that graph there, the pew pew is fine. It's on par with the other games that they've compared it against. Actually. Yeah, but everything else, the actual important bit, so moving, it's obviously way worse. But it'll get there. I'm sure it'll all be sorted out in the wash. It's literally at the moment. I just don't think it was ready. It's great that they released it. It created an awful lot of really good vibes in the whole community, ourselves included. But from those stats just speak for themselves. It just wasn't ready to be released.
It wasn't.
But then again, it's alpha, so it's ready from an alpha perspective. So perhaps we shouldn't be so harsh.
Yeah, maybe. But I think it was released early because they needed to get something out before Christmas. And if they'd waited to include 2.61, because 2.61 is going to fix a lot of network problems. Not all of them, that's for certain, but it's going to fix a fair amount of them. And I think it'll help considerably on both the AC, the Star Marine, and that's why they're pushing 2.61. But they should have just waited until those networking things were done. And then, my opinion, but a lot of people were like, I just want it now, sort of thing. But I think they should have waited, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, we're probably a bit older than most of them, so hey, we got more patience.
Yeah, we do. But we've both been playing this game for a long time, so we got to have some sort of patience.
Yeah, good one. Are these screenshots you've taken?
No, this is from from a video I found, but I did find something interesting. I'll go back to the standard blah 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 thing. Here we go. But the video I did, another video, or I was listening to, was about how the radar works in Star Marine. And basically, right now, the radar sucks because no matter what you do, like if you're walking or running, you still pop up on the radar for the opposite team.
Hmm.
So
See, I thought it was only if you were running or shooting.
No, it's walking. Even if you crouch, you pop up briefly on the radar, like you crouch. So the only time you don't come up is if you're standing still,
Or you're dead.
doing nothing. Basically, that's the only time you don't pop up. If you're like standing still, don't move.
Yeah, I guess it's not supposed to be a stealth shooter anyway. So
No, but
I mean, and I think we have to remember that this is the, in universe Call of Duty. So effectively, it's supposed to be all about the pew pew. I expect it's going to be different.
I don't think it'll be like that forever, though.
No, it won't be. I mean, when they add in all the extras, all the like the decoys and all the other things that they hinted back in the day, like the deployable shields and things like that, there'll be a lot more tactics to it. But right now, it's literally run, try and protect or hack one of the points, or just TDM, really.
Yeah, well, TDM. I've been wondering why they haven't even got TDM or capture the flag. To me, it seems like I think they actually CIG posted something saying that they didn't think anyone would be interested in it, and I'm like,
really?
Right?
I mean, I'm not being funny. Capture the flag, or even something akin to HQ in Call of Duty would be great. You have a single point, you have to take it, and then you have to hold it, and the person who holds it the longest before time runs out wins. Yeah, that sounds like great fun.
It does. I mean, admittedly, they might
smaller maps, tactical place where you can try and lock it down, and then everybody has to get in there and take it off you. I mean, that'd be great.
They did say that I think that they're worried about them like splitting the player base so that there's more waiting for matches and stuff like that. You have more game modes. You have more sort of people waiting around because you split them. Say you add two more, you split your user base in half if they all spread evenly. That is, but
yeah. I mean, right now, I guess, well, it's all about the metrics. It's getting as much data in for them to analyze and fix the issue. But I expect that once they've nailed the problem with the netcode, they'll put the other modes in, because it's got to be more than just TDM and
well, now it's not TDM. It's a point capture, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, not TDM. FFA, free for all, isn't it?
Yeah, deathmatch right now. So basically, it's free for all deathmatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also like certain things like hardcore mode where you just have one life in a point capture, like sort of like you die, you're dead, sort of thing. And
that'd be like sabotage.
Various other settings. Maybe like you can only use certain weapons, or sort of like more like settings where you can like tweak the various things, like pistols only, or I don't know. There's like tons of things. Snipers only, if like they used to do AWPs only in Call of Duty.
Like gun game. You start off with your pistol, you get 3 kills, then you upgrade to a laser pistol, then you upgrade to the SMG. Those mods back in the day.
Didn't they say, like, I remember saying something like a couple of months ago about having achievements in Star Marine? Did you hear that? And I was
doesn't ring any bells, but I wouldn't.
Achievements? That sounds interesting, but I haven't seen anything to do with any sort of achievement system, which would be interesting.
Well, unless they're gonna release it separately on Steam, I don't see the point in achievements.
Well, like 1,000 kills, maybe you get like a certain amount of wreck or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, yeah, that's fair enough. I didn't think about that. I'm still stuck in the whole wreck only for flying ships. But eventually, of course, they'll have to put it in Star Marine, won't they?
They do. I mean, I don't see why it's not even in now. I don't think you get wreck for Star Marine right now, which would be. I think they should do, because then you can, if you play Star Marine, you can upgrade your ship, and play AC as well. So I really don't see the problem with putting wreck in Star Marine. I mean, maybe you could hack it or cheat it. I don't know, but
yeah. I mean, for those who saw our episode last week, we talked about the aim botting and the wall hacks and shooting literally across the whole map, whether the walls are there or not, and still killing people. I'm guessing until they're happy they can actually stop that, giving rec to people who do the best would effectively devalue rec for everybody else, because it's not secure.
Well, yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, that could be the reason. Maybe they added in, but they didn't know about the hacks before they released the live version. So it's not like they went,
No.
"Oh, there's hacks," and then so we won't put rec in.
Yeah, I
So
don't think they had Rec in Arena Commander to start off with, though, did they? For the first few iterations, they added it in later when it was more mature. They'll stick it in.
I kind of skipped a lot of AC just because I'm like wasn't prepared to put my time into Star Citizen until they had something to play, which meant
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I spent ages just walking around the hangar going, "Oh, look at my shiny ships." There are people flying around blowing each other up in Arena Command, and just like I played it a couple of times, went, "Nah, yeah, I don't want to. I'm not interested in that. I'd rather just walk around and go, "Ooh, look, ships." You know what I mean? It's just one of the things. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Squadron 42. I'm
actually
really looking forward to the PU and 3.0, so you can actually do more than literally just, do some satellites, pirate people, nick people's ships. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff. I want to see more in the game, but yeah, we're going to get there this year, I'm sure.
Eventually, I don't know when. I think 2.61 will probably be the end of January if I had to guess, and then 3.0 probably April. I'm reckoning now.
Yeah, maybe for the Easter holidays, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, something like that. And I don't think we'll see 4.0 this year.
No, I mean I'm going to put some money on the table, virtual money, right? I don't do betting. Well, not anymore.
I was going to say, did you just say you don't do betting?
I said not anymore, man. Shush. But yeah, I think we'll probably see the first episode of Squadron by the summer. I don't think they're going to wait until CitizenCon. I think they're going to bring it out before then.
I think you're right. I think definitely Squadron 42 will be out by August.
Maybe even earlier.
Yeah, it's possible they could do June. I don't think they'll do anything before that. There'll be no way they're getting Squadron out before June. Earliest June would be like amazingly quick. They must have already done everything they need to do. Then now it's just polishing, sort of thing. But they have a few like subsystems like AI subsumption they haven't finished, and a few other things. So I don't know. I just don't see June. I see August, maybe by Gamescom.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I did hear that they will be releasing some stuff in the store, merchandise soonish, which is themed around Squadron 42. So maybe we'll see when it comes out. I just need a new hat. My lighting sucks.
Your lighting does suck. So, what are your? We were just talking about hacks. So, what are your thoughts on what the kind of banning system should be, or the severity of it? Do you think it should be like a 3-strike system or a 1-strike system, or depending on what the problem is, or because MMOs suffer from exploits quite badly in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think given that to be able to play the game, you would have actually given money already. A 3-strike system would be fair. Like, for example, if I was a complete muppet and thought, "Oh, let's try this hack or this exploit because it looks cool," if they banned me for the first offence, I would be obviously really annoyed because I would have lost dollars.
I would sue if that was the case with me. I'd be like,
exactly. So I reckon it'll be a 3-strike system. I think the first strike you'll get you'll get a warning and you'll be banned for a week, right? And then obviously it gets worse than the third time you do it, regardless of what it is. So in other words, any particular exploit or hack or something dodgy you're doing, which is completely against the terms of use or whatever, you only get 3. You don't get 3 for wall hacking and then 3 for nicking stuff through the wall from a shop. You know what I mean? You just get 3 and that's it. And they get worse. Start off with a week, then a month, then a quarter, which is horrendous, but ultimately that's a really big sanction. And if you do it again,
I think it should be a week, a month, and then a year. That would be my thing.
Wow. Jesus, I don't want to put you in charge of a bloody prison. Christ.
Well, this is in California. They have the 3 strikes rule where it's or I still think they do, where like you have 3 felonies and then you get an automatic life sentence of 25 years.
Yeah, but isn't walking across the road not at a normal?
That's a misdemeanor.
Oh, right. I don't get it. What's the difference? A felony is actually something against the law, right? And a misdemeanor is something doing a bit naughty,
Well,
but not
felony is
actually
something
breaking the
like
law.
bad. Like I think felony is stealing a car, like or
Yeah,
assault, or
something obviously against the law. So what's a misdemeanor then?
some misdemeanor is like something that's just an infraction, sort of like like in America, driving
Against
over the speed
society's
limit.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of over the speed limit is sort of a misdemeanor. Sort of, and you could just pay off the fine. So I think.
Oh, okay.
So it's like there's a few like misdemeanor things, like jaywalking is one of them, I think. And although I'm not,
That's crossing the road, not at a normal place for everybody who's not American. Jaywalking, right? See, we're educating you as well, viewers. It's great.
I've never been stopped for jaywalking. I cross the road anywhere I want, pretty much. So.
Yeah, but you do jaywalk, you just don't get caught, right?
Yeah, plus I'm
Yeah, you could just put the British accent on it. Pretend, I'm just visiting.
Hey, sorry,
Governor.
sir. I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a bullshitter. So.
Well, yeah, but not on this channel, right?
No, not on this channel. I'm perfectly honest all the time. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they also did over the break. I don't think we discussed it last week because we didn't have time. A lore podcast, which was pretty interesting about how the Star Citizen started out, and sort of how it came to be and all the little information lore posts. There's some interesting things in here, like
was it like the 10th of October 2010 or something was like the first day that they decided they were going to do stuff?
No, if you watch the video, it was like the first things that they started mixing around was like August of 2012 when they first started like producing lore.
Okay.
When they started like crafting the lore and doing these like little lore posts and sort of building up the sort of whole background of everything and they've actually the one of the I found it interesting was they've actually had 8 different type star maps, like the arc map. Which
is brilliant.
It is fantastic. It's amazing, but it's been redone 8 times because they keep like changing the lore and like things that are going to come out before other things, so they have to like move planets and solar systems around.
Yeah, they can't do that now, though, can they? Because they've actually printed the maps off for some backers.
Well, I'm sure they could if they really wanted to, but it would be maybe they'd have to resend some stuff to.
Yeah, they would have to do something like that, wouldn't they?
Are there any? Do you know if there are any alien species that are not been talked about, like in Star Citizen, that we haven't like gotten in? Sort of like some similar to the Elite Dangerous Thargoid sort of.
Oh yeah, but are they Thargoids? We don't know. We're going to talk about that later. I don't know, mate, to be honest, because. We've got the Zayan, we've got the Vandul, and we've got
Xi'an. This is Xi'an.
Nah, you're American, and then we got the who are the other ones?
You have the Vandul, you have the Banu.
Banu, that's the ones. Yeah, those are the 3 that I know about.
There's 4.
And then of course, the ones again on that. What's the most recent concept ship they had that was alien?
The Prowler.
Yeah, what were they? Tevrin, are they? Tavarin. That's it. Those are the 4.
Yeah, those.
So I don't know. If, there's bound to be others, but they're not going to give the game away, are they?
That'd be nice if, like in Elite Dangerous, they had sort of a Volon, or sort of like a alien race that just is like organic and pops in and sort of like owns everything and just disappears.
But the thing is, if CIG did that now, they'd just be so copying Elite Dangerous.
But Elite Dangerous copied Babylon 5.
Not really.
Well, admittedly, they did have a Thargoid thing in the original Elite. But
yes.
It wasn't. But I don't think it was an organic ship, was it?
I can't remember. I mean, it's hard to. You couldn't make vector graphics look organic back in those days. I can't remember the lore, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. As far as Star Citizen is concerned, there's bound to be other races when you think of the size of the actual galaxy.
Well, we do know there is another race on the other side of the Xi'an, but we have never discovered them because the Xi'an are in a war with them. That's one thing I hear. But
Oh, okay.
so like because there's the Xi'an space sort of cuts ours off, the UEE rather being us. Um, so, but on the other side of them, the back end, there apparently is another race, but I'm not sure. No one knows any information about it. Or
Get some terrapins over there and have a look.
well, there. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So, actually, talking about the old Thargoid.
Oh yeah, look at that. That looks cool.
It was pretty neat, though, right?
Yeah, it does. If you haven't seen the video yet, it's much better with sound because they make some really unique sounds. I mean, I was playing yesterday, flying about within 200 or 300 light years of the star system Maya, which is allegedly where these things are pulling people out of witch space, which is what they call hyperspace in Elite Dangerous. But I haven't been lucky enough to get pulled out by those things. But that looks so cool.
Yeah,
must be the first person who had that done must have been scared shitless because you just don't expect it. I mean, you've been playing Elite Dangerous for years, and you just jump into witch space, come out the other end, avoid the star unless you've gone to make a cup of tea, in which case you burn, and then that's it. But this time, he's like, what the F's going on with this? It must have been really freaky. And what I like about it was the first video was an Xbox player. I've got it on the PC, and I've also got it on the Xbox, and I play it more on the Xbox than I do on the PC. I don't know why. It's probably because it's more comfortable for me sat on the sofa playing it. But it's good that the console gamers have actually come up with a discovery like this first.
Yeah,
it's great. Nobody knows what's going to happen yet. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it's Thargoid." Hasn't been confirmed, but whatever they are, they're pretty interesting.
Yeah, it should be.
I've just noticed, by the way, mate, chat's not working on Twitch at the moment. So if anybody's trying to ask us any questions, we're not getting them.
No, it's not working.
No, it says it's disabled for the channel, according to me. Or it could just be me being a muppet. It wouldn't be the first time.
Testing.
Hold on. Maybe it's me.
Seems to be working.
Okay, it'll be me then. At least you've got a view of it, which is good. Oh, it's my browser crashed. That's what it is. See, Chrome's normally so reliable, but not today.
Yeah, I use Chrome occasionally for like when something doesn't work in Firefox. I use Chrome. It's usually like if it doesn't work in Firefox, it works in Chrome. That's usually a given.
Yeah. But I mean, anyway, coming to the other space game. I mean, obviously, Elite Danger's got something cool going on, but I wouldn't be surprised if CIG have got some very cool, reveals like this up their sleeve.
Hopefully, because that was pretty neat. I mean, even I was like, oh, maybe I should check out, Elite Dangerous again. But to be honest, I really don't like the flight mechanics in Elite Dangerous. They kind of annoy me. So it'd be like,
it
would be like very frustrating for me. I think. I definitely feel that Star Citizen's got the more enjoyable, I should say, not better, more enjoyable for me flight mechanics that allow me to like have a bit of fun in space. So.
Yeah, it should be good. I mean, to be fair, I'll probably be spending a lot more time in the PU when I can fly my Aquila about and land on ships and rove about, which is probably what I do a lot of the times in Elite Dangerous. I mean, I will enjoy the dogfighting in Squadron, but I'm probably going to be the sort of player who will be needing an escort rather than the one flying a fighter in the PU.
Right. Yeah. I'll do your escorting, buddy.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just don't shoot
much. I won't shoot you much. Yeah. So, did you see the financial reports came out for CIG for 2015? So you could see how much money they took in and how much money they spent, and it looked fine. The financials look okay from what I can see there. I mean, admittedly, that was only for the UK studio, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna have any problems with finances, even with 400 employees. I mean, that's a lot of employees.
Yeah, man, that's massive. I mean, it's mushroomed out a lot more than I would have expected back in the day. I would have thought 150 would have been the maximum they'd need to make this game, but obviously you've got the additional features.
Hmm.
I just want to see a lot more of the game being fleshed out and not so many of these sales, to be fair, because we've given a lot of money, backers give a lot of money through their subscriptions. It's time to see what they're doing with the money now.
Yeah, I mean they definitely hide. I think they're hiding a lot of Squadron, of like information about Squadron.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I just can't wait to see Mark Hamill flying a bloody Gladius. That's going to be amazing.
that will be pretty fun. Although you probably only see it in like a box that the size of our heads at the most.
Oh, yeah, when he's talking to you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, basically chewing us out for being rubbish.
Right. Which you probably do for you, but not for me. I'm just-
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting on a bit. My reactions are what they used to be.
Yeah, you gotta keep up that sort of. Yeah, I definitely find my reactions a little slow. I don't play as many FPS as I used to, but I still play a lot of the flights things. So that's.
Did you ever play the tutorial, by the way, in Star Citizen? The actual flight tutorial thing they put in.
I didn't before they disabled it. I did not.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was
good?
really good. Yeah. I really enjoyed it, and it just
How did it go?
Well, you started off and you were just getting shouted at by an AI NPC going, "Go over here, do this. You're too slow. Get on with it." Blah blah blah. And you're actually in like it looks like a bigger version of the asteroid hangar, and you've got some ships landing, and you end up getting in a Gladius and taking off, and then he basically tells you what to do, and then you get jumped by some Vandal and you have to blow him up, and then that's pretty much the end.
That sounds like a tutorial for Squadron 42 almost.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe spoilers. It was. Maybe that's why they disabled it. I don't know. But
no, I think they disabled it because it's changing.
It was really well. Yeah, it was really well done. You got to see a couple of other ships. I can't remember now. It was ages since I think it was probably over a year ago when I actually tried it. Might have been a Hornet or a Gladiator. I can't remember what the other ships were, but you couldn't get into them. The only one you could actually get into was the Gladius, which has one of the best boarding animations anyway, which is fine.
It's also one of the nicest ships to fly, actually.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. It is a nice ship, but I just think it lacks a bit of teeth.
Well, it's really nice to fly. It's less nimble than the M50, but more nimble than the Saber and the Hornet, but it's it's got a little less weaponry, so But overall, it's a very decent ship. I mean, like it's fun to fly. Like it's the funnest, like in terms of just like pure flying, just maneuverability and like because the M50s can be a little jerky almost. It turns so quick. You're like whoa,
Did you have a bash of the Valiant when it was available for free fly?
No. Which one's the Valiant?
That was the Gladius. The Gladius variant, because it had more missiles, and I think it had different gun loadout than the standard ones. And I think it's the only one of the ones that they sold which was actually a slightly different hull, which you can't replicate by just putting different guns on it.
Well, more missiles would be good because missiles are just owned in AC right now. I mean, especially like when you got a Vanguard, you got like size 3 or 4 missiles, and you just launch them and it's instant death. Like even. Yeah, it's game over as soon as you launch that missile.
Yeah, I need to stop watching the missile camera because I keep flying into things. But it is pretty cool.
How do you fly into things? We fly so slow now.
Yeah, I manage.
You manage to fly into them anyway.
Yeah. That's why I'm going to be flying explorers or cargo ships rather than fighters because at least I don't fly fast enough and I'm doing something other than fighting. I won't generally fly into things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna succumb and play that video again just because video is just awesome. Where is it?
Which video is that?
I'll tell you now.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
So speaking of missile cameras, yeah, that's brilliant.
It is brilliant. I just
wonder how many takes they had to make it actually go through like that. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty neat. I just don't know.
That was done in the PU, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah. You can't get a cat and.
Oh yeah, of course you can't. Yeah. I wonder how long it'll be before you can have not there'll be about much use for having a Caterpillar in the actual Arena Commander, but I'd like to see players who own a Constellation able to fly them, because you can fight against them now in Pirate Swarm.
Yeah, you can. I really want to see. multiplayer, multi-ship crew arena commander. That's one of the biggest things I think. I mean, unless other than the PU, which is unplayable for me right now, multi-crew AC would add a lot of dimension to it. You know, you could take in a constellation, have me on a turret, you flying, you know, and all kinds of fun variations of things.
All you'd need is a slight alteration to the lobby, and if somebody has a multi-crew ship, they have slots next to their name where people can say, yeah, I'm going to go into that slot.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a massive change. To me, it doesn't seem like there's very... I mean, maybe it would be. Maybe it'd be a massive change, but I don't. I mean, I think it would just be a front end where they would just organize it differently, and spawn points would be slightly different. But you know, because you'd have to spawn inside the constellation of some fashion.
Yeah, they'd have to have some like a 60-second. Everybody run to their chosen
designated point,
and everybody having, like, you know, handbags at the turrets. I want to go. No, it's fucking mine. I want it. You know what I
mean? What if you could like have like 2 constellations or two cats in there, you know, with like 2 crews? And to
be honest, if I was going into a combat situation, I'd probably take a constellation any day, because the caterpillar doesn't have the teeth.
Yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool, and you could probably ram people to death with it quite easily because it's so big.
Dodging those asteroids would be tricky, because they are quite tight in some places with a Connie. But I mean, I guess you can avoid it if you really want.
No, I'm bloody doomed, aren't I? Let's be honest. If I'm flying into things with a fighter, I'm going to be buggered if I'm flying about in a constellation.
There's more room for error because you move slower on a Connie, so you're like, oh, I'm going to turn away from that asteroid. You know.
Yeah, I'll go and get it. I'll go get a cup of tea.
You know what it reminds me of? Is Austin Powers, where that guy's being run over by the bulldozer. No.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I literally almost peed myself when I saw that the first time. It was so funny. Yeah, literally, I'm just a big fan of slapstick comedy, and that was just perfect.
Yeah,
so
that was reminding me of you running into an asteroid in a Connie, because you'd be like, oh!
Well, they're not that slow.
I know,
but yeah,
but they are. Yeah, but you get my picture.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Dear, that was funny. Anyway, so what was I going to say? So this one was. Did you see this picture?
No, I didn't. But that looks cool. I think is that one of the is that what they call it, the Aquila rover down there?
Yeah, it's the rover. Yeah.
It'll come to me in a minute. I've forgotten what it's called, but that looks cool. I can't wait to have a bash in that.
Well, I was more interested about the base building they seem to be getting into. It looks very similar to No Man's Sky base building. You know, sort of like pods of like connected. You can connect them up, and I also started playing Astroneer, and which is another sort of like connecty poddy thing.
Yeah, I've got that too. It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad actually. It's actually probably a bit more fun than No Man's Sky, but even though it's like in pre-alpha and there's very little content other than just like researching things and like exploring in Astroneer. But yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed my kids want me to play it all the time now. They want to watch me dig holes and go around in my little rover, because they have like rovers. They have a truck and a rover, which I thought was kind of
I've not managed to get that far yet, but yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to one of these survival sims which are realistic but also based on a nice graphics first person. So something like Star Citizen's Fidelity, but survival. And I don't mean, oh bugger, I've crashed. It's like, look, I choose to land here in my lander on this procedurally created planet, and I have to survive.
Well, there's Hellion. You see that one called Hellion, which is coming out in it's just been announced that it's going to go into early access in Steam, which is basically, it looks almost identical to Star Citizen except worse graphics, but not by much. But it's a survival.
Hellion.
Yeah, Hellion.
Let me Google it.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting actually. It looks very similar. They basically look like they've watched Star Citizen for like the last 3 years and decided to make their own version of it, because you have docking clamps and other things like that, and it looks fairly interesting. It doesn't seem, as far as I can tell, to have planetary landings at the moment.
Oh, look, they got guns in it. Ugh. Why does every multiplayer game has to have shooting in it? Bloody hell. Sorry. It'd be good if you could actually have people working together instead of wanting to shoot people in the face. But yeah, it looks really good. I didn't actually know about that, so thanks for bringing that one to my attention, mate.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks solid. It looks like something that could tide you over if you're feeling sort of like just wanting to do that whole space thing. It actually looks more realistic than Star Citizen in terms of like you have to like pressurize the airlocks and do other things like that, and you know, like for real you have to like repair. It looks like more detailed in terms of like the actual, but it also could be a little more boring. Because of that, you know, sort of like you have to like aim the docking circle with a little monitor and, you know, sort of clamp on and click, you know, sort of like, as opposed to like Star Citizen when it's just, you know, oh, it's land, you know. So but
Oh, I bounced, it's fine.
it's fine. Yeah, so it looks more realistic in terms of that, but also could be boring because it's more realistic because, like, you know, so there are certain things in games which you do once and you're like, yeah, that was fun, I don't want to do it again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to. There's gamifying things, and then there's being too true to realism, and it's just like a pain in the ass to actually do it more than once. Like for example, I mean, I don't know whether you've played Elite Dangerous because you did have a dabble, didn't you, back in the day?
I had a beta for a while, and it was just nothing to do.
Did you play? Have you played it since Horizons have come out with the planetary landing and stuff?
No,
because that's quite interesting. Because the ships, when you actually land the ships, you have to buy a planetary vehicle hangar and a what they call them, scarabs, I think, and like a little buggy thing, and then you can fly about, mine resources which you can use to make like little upgrades, like it'll be repairs for your ship or frame shift boots, so you can actually go further, things like that. But that's kind of interesting because you can find like crashed ships and data nodes to scan and make money out of it. There's a lot more to it now, but again, it does take a long time to actually. You have to fly to a planet and then you have to go through the atmosphere, or just go through the different levels. Basically, there's like you got orbital flight, and then you've got glide, where you literally just glide through into the actual about 12 kilometers above the surface, and then you have to basically land it manually yourself. So it's really good, but it does take about, I don't know, 5 minutes to land properly. But if you're not going to land, you want to explore, you then have to spend the time to find something before you land and then drive about. So it is time consuming.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the things that starts it, and it looks to me like it's just like fly down and plonk. There's no other sort of like, you know, it just seems more streamlined, shall we say, which is, I think, can be a good thing. I mean, I would like the atmospheres of the planets in Star Citizen to have a certain amount of depth to them, not be like sort of this thing where you just, like in No Man's Sky, where you just fly through and in like literally 3 seconds you're through the atmosphere. But so I'd like a sort of intermediary, sort of in the middle sort of thing, sort of not 5 minutes, but not 3 seconds, in sort of like 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, it's like simulation arcade rather than, you know, too arcadey or too simulation, something in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's what Star Citizen's aiming for. I think they're not aiming for super sim. I don't think they're aiming for super arcadey. I hope they're not aiming for super arcadey, because super arcadey is just going to end up looking like No Man's Sky.
No, I think it's going to be good. I think, you know, given all of the previous games that Chris Roberts and the rest of the guys have actually made, it's not going to disappoint us. I mean, you look at the keyboard layout and there's loads and loads of different options there. Now, you know, for people who don't really want it to be a sim, you're like, oh my God, look at that. There's like there's 3 different modifiers. You're like, I don't really know, but you don't need to use them. But if you learn them, you can obviously be a lot more advanced than the other people. You can like turn you to go into decoupled mode, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you don't need to do that if you're just basically flying out in the PU. Unless you're heavily into the PvP aspect of it, it's going to be fun. It'll basically help you go through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we'll be fine. I think it'll keep both of us happy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sat here talking about it, would we?
No, we'd probably be talking about something else. But yeah. But I just love that picture. The picture is just the specular detail on the ground with the rocks. It's the best picture I've seen of it. Like, because I've got Astroneer, I got, you know, No Man's Sky. I saw that other one, which is not Hellion, but Ark. Not Ark. No, it's this other one where it's like a survival thing on a planet, but it's just one planet.
Is that the one that looks a bit like Mars with the weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
looked.
think
I was on. It's on Steam, isn't it? But I haven't. I didn't
yeah,
pick that one up. What I
but
like about
it's
that is that you can see how far away the horizon is on that.
that's my biggest thing
It's
with a lot of these
obviously a
games. The draw
massive
distance.
planet.
Draw distance is such a big deal, especially like in Astroneer, and like the draw distance is like you have grass like pop-ups. That's my biggest problem with games these days. Pop-up.
Mm.
The LOD system is not good enough. Like you have grass just popping up like 10 feet in front of you. You know, come on, people. This is like 2017 now. You should be able to do, a game where you can have grass for more than 5 feet in front of you, sort of thing.
Yeah, that screenshot looks awesome.
It does look amazing. I gotta be fair. Switch back. There we go. But and I want to give a shout out to the people on the PTU Spectrum channel for flight balance. They're doing a little poll on basically where they think the state of the flight of 2.6, the flight balance in 2.6 is, and things that need to be fixed. Mainly a lot of the decouple mode is some of it. SCM speeds is another sort of area. Loadouts and missiles being a little aggressive, shall we say. So we're going to try and
friendly missiles.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, they
I'm
never
not gonna
miss.
hurt you.
They really miss. You know, they're a little too aggressive. Even with chaffs and flares. I mean, plus my chaffs and flares don't always work all the time, which is annoying.
They don't seem to be reliable enough. It's almost
No.
like don't bother them. Just put more fuel in the afterburner so you can dodge them.
Yeah, basically, as soon as you get the missile thing, it's just like crank up the afterburner and just get out. And also pop-ups.
Pray.
A lot of the guys there are complaining about the fact that the pop-ups, some of the pop-ups kind of negate a lot of the sort of like the AC is supposed to be like sort of a test bed for like the flight system and how it's going to work, in PU in a lot of respects.
What do you mean by pop-ups? You mean the pickups?
Yeah, pickups, not pop-ups.
Oh,
pickups.
okay.
So
Yeah,
the pickups, like the fuel one seems pointless to me in the AC, because pretty much, to run out of fuel in the AC is very difficult right now. Even with if you don't do any pickups, you barely use up all your fuel. And if you do, then that's kind of your own fault. There's no negative. You know what I mean? If you're like cranking afterburner the whole time, by like setting your throttle to 50% and then just hitting the afterburner the whole time and just picking pickups, then you kind of defeats the point of having fuel.
Yeah, I think they still haven't found the happy medium, I think, between the pickups and how much fuel you use when you're floating about, because right at the beginning it was, everybody was moaning that you run out of fuel too quickly and you were a sitting duck, and now it's the opposite. You just don't run out of fuel.
Right, because the pickups, they didn't have the pickups when we started complaining about that. When the first iteration of the PGU came out, they didn't have pickups in there, but the fuel was also really, really slow to regenerate. It took really, really slow. But they added pickups and they added regeneration. So basically, it's like, okay, you think you went a little too far. And the other thing was missiles. I mean, the fact that you can like pick up missiles is a little silly, because you can just basically especially if you're in a vanguard, you can just go around collecting missiles and just use missiles to destroy everything. Because they're so overpowered right now. So I think
it's going to be funny if they put the freelancer miss in there. Can you imagine that? It's literally just going to fire missiles all the time. It's like, I don't have to fire my gun, so I'm just going to have to sit there and fire missiles at people.
I think they should keep the ammo and the repair. I don't mind the ammo repair pickups, but I think they should add a section where you get fuel and missiles maybe after every elite wave. Like they used sort of like a mix between the old style and the new style. Yeah. Just because I think missiles is just have a pickup. Say you kill like 4 things and they all drop missiles, and you could just restock. It's like
if you got big missiles, you'll need to to blow something up, hope it drops a missile pickup, and if it does, it's a free kill for the next one.
Right, exactly. It's just a little too overpowered right now. The missile pickups and the fuel pickups are just a little, especially if you get 3. Like you can get up to 3 missiles off 1 pickup.
Yeah, and if you're rocking size 3s or bigger, then
I mean it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's happy days.
Yeah, it's very happy days. So what games are you playing right now?
Well, obviously, Elite Dangerous. I just find it easy because I can sit down, talk to the wife, and just do a bit of trading. So I'm just doing boring reputation missions at the moment, which are quite easy to do. What else am I playing? To be honest, not a lot really. I've been spending a lot of time doing a lot of work. I've got a few big deployments going on over the next few weeks, so I'm probably going to look very tired and perhaps a little bit bored next week when we do this, because literally I'm just going to be working all week, and in the evenings I'll be preparing for the next day's worth of work. But yeah, I mean, I obviously play Star Citizen once or twice a week, but until they patch it and say they fix the netcode, it's just not an enjoyable experience for me at the moment. I do it. I play it because I feel I should at least try and have some feedback for these videos. But at the moment, I get an awful lot of what we talk about is really coming from the forums, from Spectrum, which you still have access to. I don't think I do anymore. I think I've been kicked out, which is fair enough, because I wasn't using it as much as you were. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy playing what I play.
Well, yeah. I'm playing, I just started playing Australia. I tried this other game called Grim Death or something like that, and it wasn't very good, so I refunded it. And I also been playing this new one called Darkest Dungeon, which is quite fun actually.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's quite a good little game. I quite like it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, you just reminded me. Yeah, because I did buy a few things in the Steam sale. I picked up DEF CON, which is basically global thermonuclear war simulator, which was okay. I've played it once.
Is that like a real-time turn-based? What kind of game is that?
Well, it's kind of real-time, but doesn't take very long. It takes like 10 minutes to play a game. You basically you're either like North America or the Russians or China, and then you deploy your forces, like your silos and your ships, and your naval fleets and your air bases, and then you'll have to try and defend your cities whilst wiping out theirs, and you get points for each million of the opposition civilians you blow up, basically. So that was okay. But the game I actually probably spent the most time on, I was really surprised at, was Papers, Please. Have you played that?
What's that about?
It's bizarre, right? Because I've heard people talking about it before, and I was like, "What? It's a checkpoint simulator, right?" So it's based, you're like in some sort of like fictitious. I think it's supposed to be a Russian border, right? So the story, because you can do like an unlimited mode where it just keeps going forever, or you can play the story. So with the story, no spoilers, basically. You are a bloke with a family. You get picked to go and do this job, and you have to go to this checkpoint, and people come up to you one at a time, and they give you your passport. And you have to look at the passport, and you go, is that the right person? Yeah, right, okay. Is it? Yeah. It says they're male. Yeah, it looks like a male. Is that picture right? Yeah. And then if you're happy, you basically take it to the other side of the screen and stamp it, and then give it back to them, and off they go. And then you have to find, you let the ones through that are good, and then the ones that are dodgy, you basically say, nope, you deny them, and they go. Or if they're like carrying contraband or something, because you get to search them later on by going through like an X-ray machine, they get arrested by the cops. And it's like each day you have so many to go through, but there's lots of really cool little undertones and stories that follow it through. Now, it sounds like the most boring game ever.
Sounds like the worst game ever.
But I picked it up for, I think it was like £2 or something, and it was really good fun, right? Pick it up and let me know what you think next week. Seriously. Okay, it's not going to cost you much, and it is good fun. It's really addictive.
I'll have to give that one a go. I thought Darkest Dungeon was, I enjoyed that one a lot, but I'll give Papers. Did you manage to pick up Motorsport Manager? You did, right?
No. See, because I've been trying to be quite careful this year on how much money I spend on stuff, especially games. Because I just randomly go, yeah, I'll buy that because that looks cool, and I then get something thrown at me, generally heavy, by the wife at the end of the month when we're doing our accounts. Like, what's this? Oh, yeah. Ow. Basically. So yeah, I've been trying to take that in, but I will buy it. I just want to make sure I've finished everything else, because I bought Space Hulk Deathwing just before Christmas. I haven't finished that yet. That's quite good. I did try and get it refunded, but because I played it for more than 2 hours, Steam said no. But I am enjoying it. It's just, yeah, once you've played the first mission, you kind of know what the rest of the game's going to be like. So, I will play it eventually and finish it, but, it's good. It makes you feel like you're a Terminator. I mean, did you ever play the board game with us back in the day?
Not with you guys, but I actually had like all those like Star Marine, Death Hulk, and Space Marine, and Hero Quest, and all those other like cool board games.
So it's good, right? So you get the idea of being a Terminator on a Space Hulk, and all the Gene Stealers trying to rip you.
Right, yeah.
But it was quite good. But yeah, mostly I spend most of my time playing Elite and Star Citizen, and trying not to get too overwhelmed by what I've got to actually do for a living. Which sounds really depressing. Yeah. But it's not. I really enjoy what I do. It's just, at the moment, it's just busy.
Stretch. Anyway.
Okay.
So
he's just stretching with how much he doesn't have to do right now for a living.
Yeah. A couple more things before we call it a day. I think we've covered. There's not a whole lot to talk about this week, so next week should be a bit better with ATV. But I wanted to talk about Delta patching. I've heard it's coming with Spectrum when that goes live, and I think that'll go live this month.
What, with 2.6.1?
I think so. Yeah, I think it will. I think Spectrum and Delta patching. What's the gentleman from CIG who goes with who's on the Backgirl podcast? Do you remember? Lesnick, is it?
Oh, Ben. Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
Ben, do you want to come on this show? Just give us a shout, and we'd love to have you on.
What was I going to say? I've totally lost my train of thought now.
Sorry.
Yeah, so he said that it was probably tied with. He thinks it's tied with Spectrum. So when Spectrum comes, you kind of expect Delta patching to kind of follow along with it. Which should be good, because I think they need to, because if they're going to do these hotfix patches, I think they need to have Delta patching, because I mean, it's annoying to have to download 30 gigs every time. I mean, it's not so bad for me and you, because we have reasonably fast connections. It takes me about 10 minutes, 12 minutes to download the patch, but with like some people on cap limits for data and stuff like that.
Painful.
Yeah, very painful.
I just imagine my hard disk just keeps crying every time I have to reinstall it because of the huge patch. It's like, oh no, I got to rewrite over those sectors again. Come on.
I'm building a new computer now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna give the kids one that's better than mine, right? Yeah.
My kids are gonna have better computer than you now.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what.
Go on.
I'm getting an NVMe SSD, which is like one which plugs into the PCI Express X4, which means you get
it goes in the motherboard.
Yeah, which is actually 4 times faster than the ones that go into SATA 3. Because SATA 3, with the SATA 3 connection, you get about 600 megabytes a second. But with the one that's on the PCI Express X4, you get about 3,000 megabytes a second. So that should.
What the bloody hell are you going to need that performance for, man? Obviously, streaming and stuff.
That's
fine. You carry on.
Yeah, So plus my CPUs are like 3 or 4 years old now, so I need to upgrade that. So.
Yeah, I don't even know what CPU I'm running here. In fact, let's do a live DX diag and tell you, because it's been ages, and I really do need to work out what it is. Because it's been running for about 5 years, this rig, I think. What have I got? Let's have a look.
That SSD is I want to get a 1 terabyte one for like $600, I think it is.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap. They're more expensive than that over here.
Well,
I've got
I live in America. Everything's cheap here.
Apart from the women, right? Don't let the other half let you. Everything's cheap over here.
You said it, not me. I didn't say that.
Yeah, but you didn't deny it either, did you? I've got an i5. Changing the subject very quickly. A 3570, which is kind of poo, but I've managed to overclock it to 4, so it kind of does the job. But it's the number of cores that are causing issues, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, I want to get the one which has 8 cores. I think it has. or 10. There's one coming out soon that has 8 or 10 cores. I got 6 cores right now, so physical processors on the physical on the 6 processors with cores on the logical processors.
Yeah.
Logical cores. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, my next machine really needs to be my hypervisor for work as well, because at the moment I'm running all my labs on my laptop, which makes absolutely no sense. But my laptop's actually better than my PC for hypervisors. It's got more cores to assign to virtual machines. But it's got nothing to do with gaming, so let's change the subject.
I want to wait until the TI comes out and get that. I want to build my, because I thought it should be out this month. Hopefully, get that TI.
Well, the 1080 Ti.
1080 Ti. Yeah, I'll grab one of those. I may as well. I'm going to wait until January and the end of January, and if it's not out by end of January, I'll just get another 1080 or something.
Oh yeah, that's just such a nightmare of a choice for you, mate. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you having to make that awful decision.
I know.
But it's all good. Yeah, I think I will upgrade my machine at some point. Because I do most of my work on it, I might even be able to get the business to buy it for me. But
that's. I mean, I might as well tax deductible, so I can all deduct it from my taxes, which is also very nice because I do all my work on my computer. So
yeah, absolutely. So let's have a quick look through at what we've got to talk about. Have we missed anything?
No, I don't think we have. I think we're pretty much done. I think we can call it a day. I just want to say subscribe on YouTube because we're starting to get a few subscribers now, which is nice.
We want our URL.
We do. We want our URL. We want to get to 100 and get our URL so that we don't have to put this gobbledygook link in every time. We could just say quantum feedback and be done with it.
Yeah. So anybody, any of your mates, your mother, your granny, anybody else, just get them to follow us so we can get that URL out of the door. We're not proud. We don't mind duplicate.
Yeah, we're not proud. Yeah, we'll take whatever we can get. Yeah. Oh dear. Well,
we'll get there by Christmas. Hopefully.
Also, Twitch. If you want to follow us on Twitch, that would be helpful too. Not just YouTube. Seeing as we're doing this on Twitch, it'd be nice to have some people actually in the chat to ask us questions. But I guess we have to really figure out a time and pick that time and stick to that time every week, because otherwise people will be we gotta have a specific time of week to set this up. So I think it would probably be a Saturday at about 3 p.m. Pacific, which is about 11 your time, I think.
We'll talk about that off cam, because I need to make sure that it makes sense for me, because obviously doing it in the evening means I hit into quality time with the wife, which I don't get to see that much. So we might have
quality time with me.
Yes. but ultimately, if we could do it a bit earlier, say, I don't know, 7:30 my time, when the kids are gone to bed, when we're done, I can at least do the wife setting as well. I could probably manage 8, but because 8 would be good. That's we'll come up with it next week. We'll have a specific time, and all our viewers will know.
Okay, because our time difference is difficult, so it makes it tricky.
Yeah. So what time is it where you are right now?
Right now it's 3:51 p.m.
It's 11:51 p.m. here, so there's a big difference.
Yeah.
So that's why I always look so tired, because it's time to go to bed almost. But we'll get up with a better time. But anyway, I mean, the other thing to say, really, to anybody who's watching this or picks it up afterwards, if you have any questions or if you have a idea of a subject, or even if you want to come on, just get in touch, and we'll see what we can do.
We think we're going to start doing some weekly guests if we can find some. Just because I think having another person adds a little bit more to it, even though we're quite interesting in ourselves,
Well, yeah, of course, obviously.
But I think an extra person gives me, a little more room to fiddle with the stream while it's going on and find more information, and so yeah. I think
we're very gracious. We won't take the piss too much, honest.
Well, you can speak for yourself, buddy.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I'll just say goodbye. And you want to say anything before we go? Well, no, just have an excellent week. Continue to be excellent to each other, as Bill and Ted said, and we'll catch you next week on Quantum Feedback. And subscribe again. Subscribe. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of those little cards so I can hold it up every so often and just go subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and have a wonderful evening, or evening for me, and rest of your week. Thanks very
Take it
much.
easy.